Today I'm going to show you all how to make empanadas right at home. It's really easy and they're really good. This is actually a recipe that came down from my grandmother to my mother to me. So I've been doing this for a lot of years and today I'm actually going to show you guys all how to make it. Alright, let's get started. Today's episode is going to focus on mainly showing you guys how to make empanada dough and how to fry it. You can really fill it with whatever you want. You can fill it with carne adobada, you can fill it with meat. Today we're actually going to be filling it with beans and cheese. So I'm just going to show you real quick how to cook beans. So what I'm doing here is I'm just boiling some water and I'm going to add that to my slow cooker. And the reason for that is that I don't really like using the boiling method so much because I notice that I constantly have to add water because it's boiling off so much. So inside of a slow cooker you actually don't have to watch it as much. It's a lot easier. Now you can use beans from a can. I just really don't recommend it. There's a lot of preservatives and a lot of strange stuff inside there that I don't really agree with, especially with how easy and cheap beans are normally. So I'm just going to show you real quick if you've never made beans on your own. These are Pinto Beans, and what you're doing right now is called sorting. Basically you're looking for these little guys, these little half beans. There's also, here's a perfect example of a rock that, you know, whenever the machine or whatever sorts these, they still come out with stuff like this inside of the package. Alright, so now that my slow cooker has been on high for about 2 to 3 minutes till it's slightly hot to the touch, you're going to want to add your rolling boil of water. I usually add about a tablespoon of kosher salt per pound of beans. What this does is it flavors it while it's boiling. If you don't add salt, you're going to notice that your beans are actually going to be very bland and you're not going to actually want to eat them. Alright, so our beans have been cooking for exactly 3 hours, and the way that you can tell that they're done is you can just give them a little taste. Alright, so we're just setting our pot over here on low, and you don't have to use this many beans. Like I said, this is just, we're just making a large amount. So you have your beans in here, and some of the staples for Mexican cooking are cheese, and for refried beans actually using bacon fat. And what it does is it adds a real nice salty meaty flavor to it. Now if you're a vegetarian you obviously don't have to use the bacon grease. It's just really traditional in Mexican cooking. So what we're going to do is first we're going to add our cheese, and I like to use Colby Jack cheese. It just works really well with Mexican cooking. But first I'm just going to start mashing it down. Now as you're mashing, this is when you want to add your bacon fat. Now each one of these is a teaspoon. For 4 teaspoons total for 2 pounds of beans. It's about a teaspoon per half pound. Now what you're going to want to get is some masa. Now masa is just ground corn, and it's really good for making tortillas and empanadas. So I just like the Quaker brand. You can get whatever you prefer. Now there really is no science to doing this, but I'm going to try helping you guys out a little bit. This is 3/4 cup of water to 1 cup of masa. And that actually seems to be a very good ratio. 1 cup of masa per 3/4 cup of water for however many you really want to make. Each masa, or each empanada that we're going to be making is going to use about that much dough there. So you can imagine with how many beans we have, we're going to be making quite a bit. Alright, so we have our dough here. Basically you have this almost like Play-Doh kind of texture. It doesn't really stick to your hands, which is exactly what you want. And you can work with it. You can make a ball, you know. It's basically like Play-Doh is what you should think of. You have our filling over here. And this is a little trick that my mom showed me a long time ago. Basically all you do is get some scissors and a plastic bag. Go ahead and cut the sides of it. Right along its natural seam is just fine. And you can go ahead and cut however big your tortilla press is, and I highly recommend using one. Go ahead and cut it, you know, pretty similarly to your tortilla press. So just get some of your dough over here, make a ball, pretty palm size, pretty big. you'll be able to know with your tortilla press after a couple tries. But what you want to do, just go ahead and open it. Put this side on this side, the edge of it. Cover it. And you just want to press down lightly. And then you'll notice that it hasn't fully pressed on that side. So you just want to flip it over on the exact opposite side. Go ahead and press it again. Boom, you have the basics of your empanada. And at this point, what you want to do is you want to grab your filling. You can put meat in this. You can put basically whatever you want. As long as I wouldn't recommend sweet things. I would recommend more savory things like meats, beans, cheese. You can do rice. You can do a bunch of stuff. So then you just cover it. And this is what using a plastic bag makes it so easy. And you just press, just like that. That's how simple it really, really is. And I love these things. So you just press them just like that. Go ahead and lift. You have a beautiful empanada right there. Now the next thing you want to do is just with the fork, if you really want to do it traditionally, you just press it, crimp it down. And that's how, on empanadas, you see those little marks. That's how they come out. So you basically just rinse and repeat this method. It's really simple, and it's really, really good. Alright, now I have my vegetable oil over here heating at 370 degrees. Now you don't need one of these machines at all. You can just as well use any pot that you have, cast iron I highly recommend, and just bring the temperature up enough to where when you grab your dough, and you can do a little test right here, that when you put it in, you immediately see it rise. See how it's, do you see how it's rising just like that and it's starting to crisp? That means that my dough's ready to go. So, if you don't have a thermometer or you don't know the exact temperature of your oil, just wait till it heats up till when you drop it in and it immediately rises. So that's all you need to know. So, we just have our little empanada over here. Just going to take it off. Go ahead and put it right inside of whatever you're using to drop it in. If you don't have one of these baskets, you can use one of my favorite things, which is one of these wok strainers, and just put your empanada right there and just drop it into the oil, and it'll start straining right as soon as you lift it. So go ahead and drop it in. I'm going to set a timer so I can tell you guys exactly how long it takes. So at 370 degrees, I'm just going to drop it in. About halfway through your fry, you might notice that you just need to flip it right over to get both sides evenly fried. Is it still filming? Alright. Now about 5 minutes later, what you're left with is a beautiful empanada. Look at that. It's nice and crispy, just as you can tell. Just going to want to put that on your drying rack. So this is what your empanada should look like. It should be nice and crispy. You hear it's crackling? Alright, now that's all you need to make empanadas right at home. This is actually my favorite dish. Let's go ahead and look. So you have nice crispy exterior. Then you just twist it open. And the nice juicy, flavorful bean cheese. At home we used to call these Mexican pizza pockets. So I hope you guys enjoy learning how to make empanadas and realize how easy it actually is. You can fill these with anything: meat, beans, cheese, rice. I would stick to savory things, not sweet things though. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Full Flavor, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.